What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we are looking at Nikola Motors once again. So this article actually came across the desk here that I was looking at later last night, doing some overall research again on Nikola, trying to better understand the science behind how they create things, how the fuel cell works, and how it's a differential from Tesla. So again, Nikola Motors is the company that is kind of getting in the competitive space with Tesla, with EV, and more particular the hydrogen fuel cell, and kind of building a new ecosystem around that, comparing themselves to an Apple or an Amazon, where they really just build the ecosystem from everything from point A to point B and creating different things like that. That being said, with this article, if you're not familiar with S3 Partners, they are a firm, company that gives a lot of data and analytical tools to a lot of hedge funds and brokerage firms, and I think on some larger trading desks as well. So they give very up-to-date information on short floats to volume indicators of what other hedge funds are doing in the market and things like that. So it kind of gives you like a what's going on behind the curtains kind of thing. So that's very important data for a lot of huge funds. It would be fantastic to have those at your fingertips without a doubt. So indicating that there are multiple large hedge funds right now that are shorting Nikola Motors at the 5.2% of its float. That's nothing to really write home about. The thing that finds super aggressive is that the S3 estimates that Nikola shorts are paying about $3.6 million in borrowing costs a day to hold those positions. So when you go short a stock, there's a certain little fee, or what they call a borrow cost or borrow fee, to that price. If more people want to do that, it's going to be supply and demand. The cost of holding that is going to go up. And of course, since the stock is continually going higher, that cost is going to be going up as well. So we're going to be looking here in the chart in a second. Kind of wanted to share two little videos here that I'm going to put in the description below. So this is the Trevor Milton. This is the interview that he did on Fast Money, also as last night, kind of talking about the overall expansion of the company and trying to give a better understanding to the investor of what they're going to be putting their money into. It kind of honestly gave me like a wishy-washy understanding, and I'm not sure, I just didn't understand it completely. So I kept on looking for some answers, and I found these two wonderful folks. And these wonderful folks are completely kind of disconnected from the overall financial markets, in the sense of they just know science and they just know on how things operate, and they're very good at explaining the overall Nikola process, from the truck to how the hydrogen fuel cells could work, some unanswered questions on how they're going to power the overall fuel cells. Is it going to be off the grid? Is it going to use solar? Are they going to get the hydrogen extract from natural gas, or are they going to get it from water, and showing on how the transferring of different units from one stage to another loses its overall mass and its overall durability. It's really interesting. I'm going to put this also in the link to the description. Fantastic. Listen to those guys. I subscribe. They're wonderful. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead, look at Nikola, and then we'll also look at Tesla stock chart here for some technical analysis. Looking here at Nikola now, so even with today being down 3.7%, nothing too crazy. As we talked about on the previous live stream on Stock Talk Sundays, looking at it's still holding the 5 and 8 exponential moving average, even though there are still people trying to calculate on how they're going to make money, since they haven't really got a truck yet. The truck's being created by a third-party entity in Germany that they're going to ship it here. Like, there's a lot of questions around this, and a lot of people are kind of scratching their head on what's going on here. But on the chart again, the 5 and 8 exponential moving average has been holding fairly well for the past week or so. Actually, for majority of the time, even since this pretty high up tear and then down. Usually this is kind of a bouncing mentality here between these really high interactive moving averages. As you can see, ever since it's really gone public, the 5 and 8 exponential moving averages have been a very large line of resistance and support on the way up, on the way down if it comes crashing down. So looking at this again, still kind of came down today, really bounced off pretty hard around the $64 level. Potentially, if it starts breaking below $60, which I'm actually gonna move this guy up here, that we could be potentially seeing. Again, it's got to close below this price because we're looking here on the daily chart. It starts closing below 60, and then the 5 and 8 start getting closer to the 21. That could be a sign of a particular concern. So level 1 of downward support is basically going to come in around $60. Level 2 is around 46, 45. It's going to be around the 21 exponential moving average, and then level 3 is going to be around $38 of what potentially we could see if it starts going down and very drastically. But that being said, reverting back to the short squeeze article from S3 Partner, they are suggesting that there's quite a few million people with their biases and their opinions on being short this stock, and there's going to become a certain pain threshold, where people are not going to be able to pay those borrowing fees. Again, we're talking about nearly $3.6 million a day to borrow those. That's quite substantial. That being said, that could create a short squeeze, indicating a potential another kick higher to the $93 limit, or the $93 level. That being said, we kind of need to see a break above the 76 here initially. So what we can do here is a quick fib from the swing high to the swing low. And again, you're looking at, literally it failed at the 50% retracement. I can't make these numbers up. Literally to the tick, it failed here at the 50% retracement. Now it's coming back down. So we really need a break above the 73, and then initially hitting that 61.8 percentile move, which is around 78.27, for a potential kick higher to get that momentum going. Looking here at a more direct side of things, the RSI has kind of been flat, volume oscillator as well. Momentum has kind of slowed down just 1 or 2 days. That's could be somewhat normal. If we start seeing these blue or darker blue lines for 4 or 5 days and things are just kind of trading sideways, and you see the 5 and 8 start to curl over, that could be a sign of a potential downturn coming. But again, this thing is going to be pretty highly elevated for a lot of people because they're having some announcements coming out on their Badger. They're creating their own truck as well that's going to be electric or hydrogen fuel cell. They're taking reservations, I believe, at their Nikola World at the end of the month, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. For me, I'm kind of have to wait on the sideline. As you know, we invested in VTIQ. Once they announced it, we got out, thinking it was a little too risky. That being said, we're just going to be kind of waiting on the sideline, potentially for some trades, not initially thinking of an investment because we're pretty heavily invested in Tesla. That being said, we're just going to kind of be waiting on the sideline, seeing if these prices can be reached or not. All right, and as I promised, we're going to be looking at a quick look at Tesla. Kind of had a very wishy-washy week here. Kind of since we made that $1,000 price target, we kind of been going down and then trading upwards and downwards. Kind of a kangaroo market, as you all probably have heard. Again, this thing has been holding the 5 and 8 exponential moving average quite well. The 21 is a very long term. By long term, if you're trading, a very strong support of initially the last 2.5 months. Since the parabolic SR has switched to the top, I would be a little bit hesitant to see kind of trading sideways, potentially between the 950 to around the $9 or $1,000 level for some time until we get that battery day or we get another huge uptick in the market overall. All right, guys. Thank you. Hopefully that answered a lot of questions. And you, again, check out those 2 links in the description below. We have a fantastic Discord in there as well, and a fantastic Patreon page if you want to help support the channel and get some various different ideas in the market and some learning experiences. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.